quiet village in the south. There lived a girl named Elara. She was known for her warm heart and endless kindness, a light to everyone who crossed her path. Her laughter alone echoed in the narrow streets, and her eyes sparkled with hope that made even the coldest night seem bearable. But Elara had her secret, hidden behind the glow she showed the world, and this was love. For as long as she could remember, her heart yearned for love, for a soul who would cherish her the way she believed she should be cherished. Then came Arik, a young, charming young man. Arik was not only handsome, but possessed so much energy. He was brave to the likeness of different ladies across the community. He was tall, with a face that held a mysterious allure and eyes that seemed to see through Elara's very soul. From the moment they met, there was an undeniable connection, as if fate itself had written their story in the stars. Arik was charming, speaking of distant lands and whispered dreams of a future full of endless possibilities. At first, Elia was hesitant, but Arik's gentle words, his unwavering attention, and the way he seems to know exactly what she needed slowly dissolved her walls. Soon, she found herself falling deeply in love. It was a love that overwhelmed her, as though her whole being was wrapped in the comfort of his presence. Arik promised her the world, swearing his devotion in a way that made her feel as if she was the only woman who had ever existed. Months passed, and their love seemed like a fairy tale. Arik spoke of taking Elara away from the quiet village, of adventure and a life where they would be free from all that had ever weighed them down. He told her to trust him completely, that nothing would ever come between them, and so she did. Elara, who had been cautious all through her life, handed him her heart without hesitation. She loved him to the fullest. But as the days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years, changes began to force. Arik grew distant, disappearing for a longer period, his once loving words turning sharp and cold. Elara, in her innocence, convinced herself that it was only a phase, that Arik still loved her as deeply as before. She had given him everything, her trust, her heart, her very soul, and she couldn't bear the thought of losing him. Then one fateful evening, Elara followed him. She had noticed him sneaking into the night, and curiosity, laced with a growing unease, drove her to find out where he went. Under the cover of darkness, she trailed him through the village and towards the cliffside by the sea. There, illuminated by the moonlight, was Arik, locked in an embrace with another woman. Elara's heart shattered in that moment. She stood frozen, watching the man she had trusted so dearly betray her in the most painful, very imaginable way. Her mind laced as the pieces of the puzzle fell into places. His distance, his lies, his promises that were nothing more than hollow words. In a daze, she stumbled away, tears streaming down her face, her world crumbling beneath her feet. The sea rolled below as if it mirrored the storm inside her heart. She wandered aimlessly, replaying every moment of their time together, wondering how she had been so blind, so foolish. The weight of betrayal pressed down on her chest, suffocating her every single day. Elara found herself standing at the edge of the cliff, the wind hollowing around her. She could still hear Eric's voice in her mind, whispering the promises he had never intended to keep. She had given him everything, trusted him with her life, and now she had nothing left. In the final moment of her anguish, she felt an overwhelming sense of release. Her heart, too broken to carry on, made the decision her mind couldn't. With one last sorrowful glance at the horizon, Elara let herself fall forward into the abyss, the crashing waves below swallowing her whole. The next morning, the village woke to the news of Elara's disappearance. Arik, unaware of the tragedy he had caused, continued on with his life, never once looking back at the girl who had loved him more than anyone had ever had. And Elara had trust shattered, became nothing more than a memory, a reminder that love, when betrayed, can lead even the brightest soul into the darkest end.